Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Texted Jeff. Don't know where he's at. So
I'm trying to stack 2 computer monitors at once right now. It's going.
fine. Give. I'll give 5 minutes and then we'll go.
Okay. Oh, I should rejoin as a player. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a spell that I'm gonna swap one of mine out for during our level up that I haven't done yet.
Oh, I thought you did that last week.
I
Did you level up? Yes, no. I don't know if you said anything.
she's muted.
I don't know if she heard you.
No.
Just as she's gonna need to rise up. I've lost a hex wrench. It is breaking my mojo.
Did you level up? Do that real quick. I didn't realize how it was because like everybody's talking about it.
Your audio is kind of wonky, Scott.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Oh yeah, I was definitely one of the few people out of my circle that had not seen it.
Only reason I watched it is because Anna's sister recommended it. Like, wasn't even on my radar. And I'm usually into musicals.
Uh huh. Well, I come from a theatrical family, so
I get nothing but grief for my love of musicals. And by musicals, I mean anything where they sing. Like, I'll sing Frozen and Moana over and over again.
I escaped the Frozen thing.
Frozen
I'm sure
1,
there are some good songs, but I just
Frozen 1, not great music. Frozen 2, excellent music. I don't know who wrote the music for Moana.
it was Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, really? That's nice.
Yeah,
Oh, I do
yeah.
know that King George is the guy in Frozen 2 that sings the. He's like the beefy rides an elk guy, and he does
His
this. It's such a good song. What is it called?
his range is great. He would be a fun guy to do a rock show with. Just he can just bust into falsetto so easy. I used to be able to do that, but get older and you don't practice as much, it goes away.
What goes away?
He did that song that I just posted. It's like a rock '80s power ballad kind of thing.
Ah, okay. I'll check that out.
And while it is Frozen 2, it's a fun song. And like they do weird things with, like they do stuff with the animation that makes you kind of think of Queen.
Uh,
Am I sounding any better now?
That is way
Yeah.
better.
Okay.
Did you stop downloading porn?
Yeah, I stopped it for now.
That's the answer every time.
hmm I don't see you, Sean. Let me reconnect just because everything's been
Oh,
weird on my end.
Where is my socket wrench?
Okay, there we go. Reconnect worked.
I've done it. I've lost a hex wrench. Is it on my keyboard? Nope.
Can't be aged magically. You no longer need water. All right.
No longer need food or water? That is excellent.
That is.
I've lost your video though. Okay. Armin is no longer a 14 war cleric. He's a 15. I should rename him.
No longer need food or water.
I still need
So I
food
guess
or
you
water.
just exist off of the
Key.
like
She eats
Yeah.
me.
she eats her own key.
Assumes it.
Oh, you could do such a cool build if you were ranger monk and you could like make your own senzu beans. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Third level.
Work out a way to like make your key physical and make it into little sensu beans.
Everybody's video is all janky now.
Yep, it's the storm, I think.
God damn storm.
Hey guys, I hope we don't need remove curse. Because I just dropped it.
Oh,
Thanks for telling me that.
I was going to, as part of our rest, I was going to respec my spells.
That's what I did.
Yeah, so I'm doing that right now.
It's very important. Also, can I cast sending as a ritual?
Is it a ritual spell?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it.
If it's not, then no.
Excellent. I'm going to waste a spell slot doing something stupid.
I got to swap out a spell, and I can't wait to unveil the new spell. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Is it dragon
But
bullshit?
It's horrible.
It's going to be fun.
You're all going to
Everybody's
hate
being
it.
everybody cuts in on being really choppy for me and then not. I know it's me. All right, let's try to go. We good? Everybody good?
Good enough.
Good enough.
Okay. After the party making their way through the forest and over Thunder Peaks, they finally make their way to the gates of High Moon. But they are surprised upon arriving in the middle of the night that there are zombies afoot. So the party peels back, finds a shack, and takes a long rest. And respecs, levels up, does whatever they had needed to do. Does Armin want to say what he did during the night
Armin did something really
with the whole
fun.
thing?
So during Armin's meditation rest time, he burned one of his spell slots before he gained them all back to do some scrying on our friend Ditex. And because, I mean, I think Ditex is in here. Apparently, there's 2 Ditexes running around, and I think that's because there's like a master Ditex and a slave Ditex, where he just like spawns stuff off of him. Somehow, I think that's like a lich thing, maybe, or a clone thing. I don't know. It's some weird magic, but I don't know enough about that kind of magic to know how he's doing it. But I think there's a master and a slave Ditex.
So you think that the one we took out was just kind of a backup, a secondary Ditex?
Yeah, I think he constantly sends out a backup every time his backup dies to go do stuff.
So to find him, the real him, we're not going to have much luck if we just keep following trails of things that sound like him popping up, I guess.
No, and I don't think he's the one that's here. I think the double is here. But I have half a clever plan.
Okay.
Super clever.
Well, I wouldn't give myself that much credit. So, I think I talked about it in chat, but I'd like to see if we can enter through some sort of sewer system around the keep or around the city. I mean, there's got to be a sewer system, right? Or a sewage system.
One would think. But before you do that, so I guess you guys are going to leave and head towards the front gate of the city again?
I think we're going to tell Serena to stay back. And
Okay.
I want to hand her... We have the 2 sending stones. And I want to hand her one of them, and I'll hold the other one. And I want her to stay back and kind of stay hidden, but watch the front gate for movement.
So remember that those sending stones are one-time use per day. It's like casting the spell once a day for free.
Okay. Then I want her...
So-
is it both ways? Like, she can cast
So-
one for free, and I can cast one for free?
So whoever sends first, it uses it, and once you get the reply, and that can be either way, one time.
Okay, well then I will tell her that don't use this unless it's critical. Like,
Good
let
idea.
us know if something shit goes down, and if something shit goes down for us, I will let you know that it's time to run.
Sounds like a good plan. All right. So the party is going to approach toward B again, correct?
You're breaking up. Oh, your
Yeah.
face isn't moving either. That's fun.
I don't know if y'all saw. It looks like he's about to get
Yes,
kicked
I
again.
froze.
I don't know if y'all saw my side thing, but I can talk now. I could also scale sidewalls and kind of have a look into the city and see how things are.
When you say
Okay.
sidewalls, is that any different than scaling
All
a
right,
mountain?
am I back?
What?
Yeah.
Is scaling
I mean-
sidewalls any different than scaling a mountain the way you do?
This is gonna be
I mean, I would just run up the side of one of the
this is gonna be annoying.
walls.
Dude, I think you'd probably be doing more like some dinos up the wall. Like some rock climbing moves, like you'd be grabbing both hands and like whoosh,
Like, I don't think you need to climb. I think you could probably just jump that high.
just fly.
Jump. I could run up the side of it. However we wanted to do this, I could go up the side and look into the city for it. That's what I'm saying.
You could pull like a sweet backflip from the ground and just whoosh, all the way up to the.
Hell, I could find us a safe spot and then pull all of y'all up with like a rope or something. But
So,
All right, I think I'm back.
I would like to know what our plan is, and then right before we enact it, I want to do a thing.
Okay.
So, if we're going to scale a wall, or whatever we're gonna do, like sewage system, scale wall, whatever, I'm down for that.
Right.
Could you stealthily? I'm worried about stealth because Jeff and I are not stealthy at all. And if we go into the city above ground, I'm afraid we're gonna like pique everything's interest.
thing is, yeah, I'm decently stealthy. I'm not super stealthy. I'm more acrobatic.
But you have like
And
you have so
athletic.
much dexterity that you could maybe get away with being stealthy. I think Jeff and I
Yeah.
are rolling disadvantage every single time, and I got a
Basically.
-1.
I only get a +4, but I mean, a +4 is still a +4 for stealth.
I got a
More of it's
-1.
not terribly difficult for me to do all that. So if we find a spot where no one can see us from the outside, I
Can you
can
guys
just-
hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Stop.
For me to go to bed. What? It's not for me to go to bed. Okay, let me go tuck the kiddo in. I'll be right back.
All right.
Good. That'll give me a second to dig through my spells. I'm using your cards, Scott.
So I missed. How are we all getting up the wall? I know Danielle can run up the wall.
She has superpowers to get us up there.
We have a flyer.
Oh yeah, you could fly.
Oh yeah, I can
We
fly.
We have rope.
It's like-
We have the magic sticky bar.
You could fly the sticky bar up, and we could climb the rope.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'm strong enough to where I could probably like have somebody on my back and climb the rope too.
Well, the reason I was asking is if we're worried about stealth, I wonder if, like, Yolanda couldn't run around and find a sewer that goes outside the wall that we could.
You know what? I bet she runs so fast she could do it without being seen.
All right, I think I'm back actually for once. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's annoying when I'm trying to do stuff. All right, so you guys are going to approach cautiously at first.
I think we have a different plan now.
Okay.
I think once Yolanda gets back, we're going to convince her to run at light speed in a lap around the entire city
Okay.
and find a sewage entrance.
All right.
And that way, we don't have to worry about stealth for our non-stealthy people.
Right? She's like the Flash. She moves so fast you can't see her. Right?
Sure.
What is her run speed?
Isn't it like 90 or 100 something?
So she can run like 90 or 100 feet in 5 seconds. Is that normal? That's not normal, is it? Hold
I
on.
don't know.
Let's
I
Google
know
that.
doing like I know doing like a 100-meter dash in like 10 seconds is like world record setting, I think.
Average human run speed in feet. That's okay. So average, it's 28 miles per hour.
Is average?
How many feet? That doesn't sound right, does it?
That sounds
No, that
way
is
too
not,
fast.
That is not correct.
That is
I'm gonna say
running
that is.
speed.
I'm gonna say it's like 12 miles an hour.
I'm gonna look at Runner's World. That was such a weird thing. It looks like it's like 6 miles an hour is the average, according to Strava for last year,
Okay.
That sounds more correct.
Okay.
and that's like 10
I'd
miles
buy
an
that.
hour.
I'd buy that.
So what is 10 miles in feet?
So if 1 mile is 3,250 feet, I think. So
So 10 miles is 5,200 or 52,800. And I
you
have
asking?
no idea where I went with this math other than I have some
What are you-
numbers now.
What do you want trying to determine?
how fast that Yolanda can run around the city?
Okay, so how fast can she run? What's her speed?
Like 100 feet in 5 seconds,
100 feet
which is
by
20 feet a
5 seconds.
second.
Yep. Uh-huh. And how many feet are in a mile? 3,500, 200. What is it?
Like 3,250 is something like that.
So 20 feet a second is 13 miles per hour, 13 and a
So-
half.
162.5 seconds.
So 3 minutes just about to run around.
Yeah. 2.7 minutes.
So what is it you're trying to? You're just trying to find a sewer to get into the city?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could try going in under the city since stealth was a concern.
All right. While we wait for D, I'm going to look for my hex wrench.
Okay.
Hex wrench.
I'm working on a computer thing, and I have it, and it's gone.
Speaking of the Tough Mudder, I've been doing see that. I've been doing couch to 5K, but I've been
Oh, yeah?
doing it. Yeah, I've been doing it with Tater on my back the whole time.
Jesus Christ, man.
I've done the entire thing with him on my back. So that's 2 miles every run.
How much does he weigh? Like 20 pounds?
He's 37 pounds.
Jesus.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my little brother and sister in shape because they're like my mom was like, please exercise with them. I was like, I can do 30 minutes a night, or it's every other night. Like I can do 30 minutes, and then they get to see Tater, and everybody likes having him over, so we like make a thing out of it every other day. In the evening, we're going at like 8:30, but it is much harder with him on my back.
So you have like a baby carrying harness, or is he just like riding on your shoulders?
I've got an REI thing that I found at the Goodwill.
Okay. Oh, it's like a backpack running thing.
Yeah, it's like a he's got like a little seat.
Yeah.
So
I've
it's like
seen those.
Master Blaster from what is it? Mad Max.
I just assume he treats you like a mech suit.
He sits on top and he points at things and yells, and he really likes it. Actually, if he sees it, he'll run up and like try to jump into it. It's really cute.
Okay, boys, what are we doing?
We have a plan for you.
Okay.
We want you to run around the city as fast as you can, which is like really fast, without being seen, and find us a sewer entrance.
How fast and stealthy's gonna go, but
Well, I'm assuming if you move really fast, you won't be able to be seen anyway.
I mean, I'm not the Flash.
You move
But I
like
can't-
100 feet a second or something.
If I'm sprinting, I'm doing 150 feet every 6 seconds.
Jesus Christ. We were calculating at 50% less than that. So,
Yeah.
so you're
Yeah, you
faster
could-
than we thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
150 for 6 seconds.
So let's see, 150 feet divided by 6. So 25 feet a second. Yeah, you go like 17 miles an hour. So maybe not the Flash, but you're going.
You can take a lap around the city in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm willing.
Hopefully the zombies don't see you.
You know, if they see me, I'll just book it up the side of the wall. And,
You could just run back to us. You move faster than them.
all right. Well, I'll do it.
All right, just let me know which way you're going, clockwise or counter.
It matters. Roll a dice.
We're going counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. All right.
Are we starting at 5 over here?
Yeah, you're outside. You're basically outside of the buildings. You're like back here or something like that because you haven't quite approached yet.
Okay.
And it's like grassland / farmland all around the city, even though this map doesn't display it that well. So there's no trees. There's no any kind of coverage.
Do I need to roll for perception or anything? Or are we just saying I'm doing it? And I'll see what I see.
All right. So you don't need to roll for perception for this. One can assume that as fast as you can run, I'll just give you the bullet point list as you run around the city. As you begin to run counterclockwise around the city, you pass by the walls of the Tower of the Rising Moon at number
You sound like a robot, Scott.
4. As you continue, I'm getting
Didn't
pissed
catch any
about
of that.
this.
You sound like a robot.
How about now?
Just start talking. We'll see if it works.
Yeah, it's one of those like in and out kind of things.
Ooh. Can you hear me at all?
Yes.
I've adjusted our region. We are now in U.S. South. Maybe that'll help.
Internet.
Internet is the worst. I say as that's the only way I have my livelihood right now.
All right. How's this?
Keep talking.
Better.
Better.
A lot better. Less,
Much-
worse, good,
Much
bad.
better.
No problems. Yeah.
Considerably better.
Really fine to me too. I do not know what is going on.
You went out for a second
To do
there.
with the storm.
I think this is the worst session yet for internet connection. I don't.
Well, the storms and stuff always mess my internet up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I see you all now.
You're not breaking up, so
Okay. All right. So as Yolanda makes her lap around the city, she runs by the Tower of the Rising Moon as it spikes up into the sky. She sees guards walking along outside of an outer embankment of the tower as she continues on. As she continues around to the southeastern, she runs past stables and a couple of houses, and she sees an elf tending to a horse. As she continues her lap back around the wide side, as she comes up on number 6, the Silverhand House, Yolanda sees about a half dozen elves
what are the elves doing?
They're making out.
The stables are the houses here and stuff. All right, I'm not hearing. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Now we
And
can.
now,
Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm resetting my router again.
So he said southeast was stables and 6 is elves.
Nothing else is people to go talk to, I guess.
Like, why are there zombies and people to talk to?
Well, maybe the people don't really know what's going on. Maybe they're like dirt
It's
stupid.
No, there's no dirt stupid people.
Maybe
Like
they're so
zombies,
dumb.
the undead is a thing to be concerned about in most fantasy places. So they're not like, oh, what is that shambling corpse coming to me? Oh, it's biting my neck. Oh, I'm becoming one of them. Hopefully.
No, they're just like, hey, did you notice that Armin looks a little funny today?
It's like, did you notice Jed was eating someone's brains? We should look into that.
Hey Jed, you got something on your face, like his jaw's hanging off.
burn.
Oh, that is your face.
I never seen nothing like that before. I got my spell set up.
Excellent. Do you have a good one?
I got a much better selection of offensive spells.
So it's no more Mr. Nice Paladin.
No more Mr. Let's cast Sanctuary or Calm Emotions. We got rid of those.
I think
Those are trash spells.
I think I picked up Sanctuary.
My
Yeah.
thought was that I could use it to like protect one of our more wizardly classes with it, but it has so far sat there unused the entire time I've had it on my spell bar.
I was gonna cast it on myself.
Yeah, oh well, I mean it would be good for that. I mean if it was like a
A frontline fighter that takes. Hold on. What does it do again?
you're warded.
Within a. Who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must make a wisdom save. So anytime someone attacks me, they have to make a wisdom save.
Yeah, and then if they have to choose a new target if they lose the roll. So if there's nobody around, like if they're going to attack and they try to hit you and they fail and there's nobody within range, they just don't attack, I guess.
That sounds
Is
beautiful.
the way.
I love everything about it. The +2 AC. I'm trying to figure out how to make my con saves make more of a difference. Because like my main attack spell is a concentration check. If they interrupt it.
Right on. Oh, I just remembered. So I think I get some spells that are just automatically, like I can use them and they don't take up the spell slot. So I'm pretty sure that Calm Emotions is one, Protection from Good and Evil one, Satyrs Mantle.
My HDMI cable's not long enough. What do I do?
Which one that doesn't need one is long.
This is not long enough.
Run to Home Depot, get a crimping tool,
Make my own HDMI cable.
extend the HDMI cable.
I'm gonna remove my work one. Maybe it's longer. Nope, doesn't look longer. It is. Beautiful.
So you're gonna run around this place. When you get to the elf, do you think that they're good elves or bad elves? Do you
That's
think
probably
they're?
something we should ask Scott. Actually, if
Do
they're...
you think
Go ahead.
No, I don't know.
Like what are drow or elves, right? Drow elves, that's a thing.
They could be drow elves.
Like, do they have dark skin? That sounds
Probably.
so racist.
All right.
Alright. Alright.
Do I sound decent? Or am I still cutting out like shit?
You cutting out a little bit.
Hey, Ron.
Oh,
It's real fucking hard to play this game on my internet.
me and Joseph have been naming our
Fucking
horses
bullshit.
in Breath of the Wild some, inappropriate names, and apparently we screenshot it. Well, Caleb was playing around with the Switch today and was looking through the screenshots, and I'm in the bathroom and I hear him yell from the other room, "Mom, do you have a horse named Fucko?"
Excellent.
Oh, jeez.
That's funny.
Well, and then I told him, like, yeah, buddy, don't say that. It's not a nice word. And he gave me this huge lecture about how I need to sell the horse and get my rupees back and name it something nice.
That's really funny.
I'm just glad he didn't notice the one named Cunty.
God.
Been fun. All right. So, what did you hear of me when I was giving my spiel?
You cut out. We heard everything up until number 6 has elves, and then that's where it fell apart.
All right. So, as you were running past number 6, you noticed about a half dozen elves out working, and a few of them notice you as you speed by. And you finish your lap back to the rest of the party.
See any didn't notice any sewers or rivers or anything like that, but I did see a bunch of elves. We could ask them what's going on.
Let's go talk to the elves.
Do you want to talk to the horse elves, or do you want to talk to...
I'm sorry, back up. The horse elves?
Oh, there's some elves with horses.
Oh, they have horses, but they're not like horses that
No,
are...
they're not like centaur elves.
That would be cool.
That's on the other side of the city, though.
Or there's just some elves hanging out tending their crops.
Well, let's go up to the ones that we can just wander up to easiest and strike up a conversation.
What? There's undead in the city. Why should we trust any of these elves?
Well, I want to see what's happening. Like
They could be mind controlled.
exactly, but we should figure that out, shouldn't we? Then we know what we're up against. Something that can control all these elves' minds and have undead zombies walking around.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we could
I
gain some
mean,
value.
none of them acted aggressively towards me as I ran past.
I mean,
Or we could just
would you
run it.
attack an aggressive? Would you like attack a jogger?
I wanted to make a real bad joke there, but I.
This is a mostly PG channel.
Mostly. All right. So what are you guys gonna do?
Let's go talk to some stable elves.
You're gonna travel to the other side of the city?
The other ones, the ones tending crops.
Not tending crops. They're out. They're outside working.
What are they working on?
They are curing wood.
They're lumberjacks.
Lumberjack elves.
That sounds
All
weird.
right.
Dude,
Let's walk up and see what they're doing. Let's ask them what they're doing.
they're gonna think we're stupid. It's like we're lumberjacks. What does it look like we're doing?
If they think we're stupid, we'll make up names for each other.
Okay.
I'll be Frank.
I'm Bud.
Frank. Frank the elf.
Yeah.
That's a callback. Some people know a Frank.
So I guess I'll approach the elves and Armin. Would you like the?
The pleasure of chatting with them.
Or I can say hail and well met. I was gonna give you the hail and well met.
I love to use my catchphrase whenever I can. Let's walk up, all casual like, and I will stick out my hand and wave and say, "Hail and well met, friends."
All right. So as the party skirts past the front gates to the city, well, not really front gates, but gates to the city, they work their way along the wall northeast until they approach the Silverhand House from the west side. They notice a small contingency of elves working on furs, curing lumber, stacking it, doing general menial labor. Many of them just aren't paying you any mind as they continue to work. But one, who seems a little older than the rest, notices you approaching and goes out to meet the party. And he says, "Hail and well met, friends. What brings you to Silverhand House?"
We notice your front gate. Oh,
Like, how about that, man?
what?
It's getting around. Hail and well met.
Yes, trend setting. Love it. Should you talk to them, Brett, since you're an elf? Or should
sure.
I talk to them?
How's it going? We've been out wandering around and couldn't help you notice you guys out here doing some work.
Yeah, that's generally what we tend to do around here. This is our trading coster.
Okay. Do y'all ever wander into the city?
Yeah, to take orders, to get supplies if we need anything, that sort of thing.
You find there's a group of people who don't really need your supplies in there? Like anybody shambling about kind of oddly?
He looks at you kind of quizzically and says, "I don't see what you're getting at."
Is there undead in your city?
The elf jerks his
Absolutely blunt.
head to you. What?
Yeah, your front gates is filled with undead, and we're kind of curious why you're hanging out outside.
What are you talking about? He says. There are no undead in this city.
We just saw them. They were at the front gate. Actually, when he says that, I want to study him to see if he's lying.
Yeah.
Can I do an
do that.
insight
Okay.
check? I want to.
You can absolutely do an insight check.
Okay, I want to check out his mannerisms, see if he's twitching or whatever. That's actually one of the things I'm good at. Did I do it right? No, that was pretty bad.
As you watch him, he seems to not give off any indication that he is lying or hiding anything from you. He seems genuinely confused about your question. And as he continues on, of course there's no undead in the city. Our High Lord Thalan watches over us. He would keep something like that out.
Who's High Lord Golan?
Undead in the city, and he scoffs. And he yells back to them, and he yells back to some of the guys working, "Hey, these guys think they're undead in the city." And a couple of them laugh back at you.
Who's this?
How long is it?
Oh, sorry.
Are we all? I think we're all asking the same question.
How long it's been since they've been to the front gates?
Let's go with her question.
We delivered some furs to the front gate, I think, a couple nights ago. Every now and then we go in and we give them fresh furs for them to wear because it gets kind of cold at night here. So we take the old ones back. Sometimes we'll wash them up. We'll fix them if they need fixing, that sort of thing.
Like Armin's eye is visibly twitching because this is so enraging.
So you mentioned the city leader here. What was his name again?
Thalan. The great High Lord Thalan, thank you. You should know this as an elf.
Do you know this as an elf?
Do I know this is an elf?
Are you from this area?
I don't even know where we are anymore.
We are far.
You
east.
are.
We're in the
I gotta look.
district.
You are, if we zoom in, currently here.
And where's your home?
Actually, wait, is that right? No, that's the forest that you guys just went through. You are here now, I think. Or,
The little black
no, wait. This little black dot. There's a lot of black dots, but you're at this black dot now. You're just inside Symbia. You're in the Dalelands currently.
Okay. Now, I believe I'm a golden sun elf, a high elf sun elf, so I don't know if I'm in the same region or not.
You are. I'm going to say that you are not. That doesn't sound like you come from the Dalelands. So we're going to say no.
I'm sorry, I'm not from around these parts. I hail from a different area. So, would you mind telling me a little bit about him?
Oh, he's the High Lord of the city. He watches over us.
Is he an elf?
He is an elf.
How long has he ruled over the city?
He's relatively new. He's only been ruling over us for the last 200 years or so.
I roll my eyes.
Is this has this been a family thing, or is he new? Is he new to this?
He is. I'm not quite sure, says the elf. I usually just handle the woods and the furs. All I know is that he is the High Lord.
But you don't know who his parents are.
Parents? I can't say I do.
What do you know about his lineage? Can you name his second cousin?
Is that a real question?
No.
Yes, we must know.
Do you know his third cousin twice removed's name? You're not much of an elf, are you?
If you were stranded on an island, you could only choose one cousin.
Now, is there anything that I can do for you? Because otherwise we have a lot of work to get back to.
Oh, I'm sorry, we did not mean to waste your time, but I am curious this gentleman that runs your city, you know nothing of where he comes from originally?
Well, I'm just a simple worker. I don't know all of the ins and outs of the political scheming of power, and I just work, he
Is he a
says.
wizard?
As you look him up and down, you can very clearly see that he has spent many years outside working with his hands.
He's a common elf.
Mr. Common Elf. Sorry, we don't even know this man's name. What is your name, friend?
My name is Tassara.
Let me write that down somewhere. We might need to save him later.
I'll give Tassara a couple coins and thanks for his being generous with his for talking to me.
Not a problem. I can tell you're a good elf from one elf to another.
Well, have a drink on me tonight. We're
Much
going to
appreciated.
wander on into the city, I guess.
Well, if you would
I'm
like,
not
I saw that he.
Either.
What's that?
Said I'm not talking to the DM. I'm talking to you, my friend.
Yes. Well, I see that you came from the west, which is kind of weird as most people come through the gate, and he points over to the east, right over here. And he points to this gate here. He's like, most people visit us from that way.
I want to go
So-
in the gate from the west.
Wait, when we asked you about the other gate, were you talking about this gate?
No, the front gate, the gate, the glow walk, takes you into the city from the west side.
Okay. All right. Just making sure we were both referencing the same gates earlier.
So you're
Which I
saying
want-
most people come in through the red road?
The red road's down here. That
Where
leads
are
out
they
of the
out?
city to the east. The glow walk comes into the city from the west, and he says that most people, when they come to him, visit him through this little gate here.
Let's go in the city.
Let's go.
So you're-
Obviously, something's going on with the way this town's set up, and his ignorance to the fact that something nefarious is going on.
I mean, there were a lot of undead on the wall, right? Like, it was not just like one or two, it was a whole regiment
We
of.
saw a bunch. Actually, did we see a bunch when we walked around the other way, or were they gone in the morning?
you didn't approach the gates.
Yeah, we went and rested, and then we had Yolanda do her skippy jippy thing.
Mm-hmm. So you never went back up to the front gates.
Let's go back to the
Oh hey,
front
when I
gates.
was running a circle, did I see any zombies or anywhere else?
Nope, all you saw was what I told you. You saw, the elves where you were just at. You saw some elves at the stables on the other side of the city, and you saw some elves patrolling on the Tower of the Rising Moon as you were running by it.
Those zombies right there. There's no reason we need to sneak into the city.
That's why
Yeah,
I
it
think
seems
we should go back to that gate.
So you would like to go back to the gate.
Like,
Sure.
we should officially enter the city as opposed to entering through this side door that these guys come in and out of.
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
walk through where they didn't think anything wrong was.
All right, so you party works their way back down to the front gate. I don't have a daytime version of this map, so just imagine that it is daytime now. When the map loads. And I get, okay. Okay. As you approach the gate, you see several elf guards standing at the front gate of the city. The ones in the battlements above watch you as you approach, as well as the guards standing in front of the gate. Imagine it's daytime.
Let's walk up to the gate.
walk up to the gate.
Hail and well met, friends. Can we enter the city?
What business do you have entering the city of High Moon? One elf says.
We seek shelter. We've had a long trip from that place I don't remember the name of.
The Thunder Peaks or Arabelle?
Arabelle.
I whispered to Armin, I got this weird feeling Istaval's already inside.
Oh yes,
We have two Eastavalls now.
it was the doppelganger east of the balls.
Aha.
We don't need any more of that shit running around.
One of the elves at the front gate says, "Wait, you guys came from Arabelle and you're entering on this side of the city?
Yeah.
Most people enter from the southeastern side on the Red Walk."
Well, we took the most direct route.
One of the elves
Some elves
says,
outside, and they said it was
"Did
fine.
you go over the Thunder Peaks?
Yeah, it was easy.
Are you asking for a fight? That is like the worst way you could come to this city. You're supposed to take the path around the south edge of the Thunder Peaks.
We don't
It's
have
not
a
the-
ranger anymore, so we got a little lost.
We were advised to cut through the peaks.
Who would
Hey,
tell
look,
you
we're
to?
here, okay?
Who would tell you to cut through the peaks?
No one. Why do you
Somebody-
think it look that way?
It was the leader of Arabelle. He was like, you know what? I know a shortcut. And
Oh, he
sent us
did?
away.
Yeah, apparently a giant asshole.
Huh.
Well, the elves at the front gate said it's very clear that you need some rest and recuperation. Please enter the city.
Thank you. We will enter the city.
Do y'all do gladiator tournaments?
Gladiator.
You're gonna end up fighting undead. You don't want to do that yet.
Since I don't have a map for the inside of the city, we're just going to go back to this one. So you have now entered the city via the glow walk, western into the city. As the party enters the city, they see the normal hustle and bustle of city life. They see elves, humans, dwarves roaming the streets.
Gnomes.
Gnomes is not gnomes. No gnomes
This town
that you
races
see,
against
but they're also very short, so they might just be getting lost in the shuffle. You see various
Correct.
things going on: people buying, people selling, begging on the street, the normal sort of things you would see inside such a city.
See gnomes being trampled underfoot.
As you entered the city, one of the elves pointed you to the nearest tavern, which is called the Flowing Sword, which is close to the center of the city, about right here. And as the party approaches the inn, they see in front of them, at number 2 here, a giant spire that rises into the sky that looks to be made of wood, and it is surrounded by a stone wall with vines growing all over it.
Hey, Isty, can you point your detect evil at that?
Yeah, I could do that. Did we find out if there's what the blood sport scene is like in the city? Like underground fight clubs?
You haven't yet.
Not yet. Okay. Divine sense. I'm divine sensing. Where are we at currently? We're down.
We're
You're about
in front of
you're-
you, right?
You're about here.
Oh, okay. So yeah, divine sense just in this general area.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm most interested in what in 2. I think there's evil in 2, and I want to be inside of it.
The
So
presence
you
of
do
strong
divine
evil.
divine
Yeah.
sense.
Are there any celestial fiends, undead, or fae? In the immediate vicinity.
You do not detect any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you. That is not behind total cover.
Sneaky bastards hiding behind walls.
Tricky undead.
Well, no, everything's clear. It's all clear.
Everything seems above board right
Are
now.
you sure? Are you broken? Do you feel okay?
Well, Scott decided to read the class the card, the spell card, so now he knows exactly what it does.
I was hoping you would just sense evil everywhere and we could just start slaughtering everyone.
So it is no longer like an X-ray vision for undead.
Well, then Armin says, "Wow, you don't sense anything? We usually sense everything. Are you weaker now?"
I think there's something in the air.
Too much is going on in the city.
It's not
Yeah, there's
allergies.
too much evil.
It's overwhelming
It's got-
senses.
That's got to be what it is. There's too much evil.
Too much evil.
It means we start slaughtering things, right?
You just start killing everything.
Start indiscriminately killing.
You there, dwarf!
I'd like to take a look around this. We're in the city square right now.
Yeah, you can be if you want.
That's where this number 2 is, right?
Yeah, it's basically in the center of the city, but that's the Leaves of Learning.
I just want. Can I get a description of like what kind of a town is this? Just from looking at its city square, is it does it have money or is it all kind of rickety?
So it's a large town. It's a fairly large town. It's the capital of Deepingdale, which is where you're at, like inside the Dalelands.
Okay.
It's a very well integrated settlement of humans, elves, and half elves and stuff. It's also a very prosperous city, so there's money.
Well, I know what I want to do.
Spend money.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got a pool of money to spend.
Exactly.
Somebody
I got
tell
something
Serena
I
she
should
can
take
come
care
inside. This is.
Huh?
Somebody should tell Serena she could come inside instead of just hanging out outside watching the gate.
Yeah, we should probably get her.
I'm sure we'll think of it later.
Stabled right now? Do we just have her stabled outside of the?
More or less, she's way back here waiting in the shack.
Like she's in the shack with some binoculars watching the front gate.
She is stabled.
All right, you are inside the city. It seems strange to you that, despite seeing all of that undead outside the city gates last night, everything seems very normal and forward-going inside the city.
I think strange is the wrong word. I think incredibly frustrating.
Maybe for you.
Yes. Like
How does East of All and Yolanda and Hafen feel about this?
So I'm wondering if we stumbled either onto some sort of alternate version of the city that you can only find at night, or if somehow these citizens are all falling asleep or into some paralysis where they don't notice what's going on at night. I don't know. There has to be something.
I don't think that guy was lying to us. Yeah.
Well,
No
perhaps our best bet would be to try and arrange an audience with the leader of the city.
Let's do it.
next time we do a fetch quest for someone, let's get a letter of introduction from the person that we're going to fetch for.
Yeah.
To make logical sense. And after this many times doing it, seems like we would be better
Thought
than
about it.
New policy.
Due to recent events, we are now requiring all letters of intent.
Usually a good thing to have. All right, so you guys are going to approach the gates at the Tower of the Rising Moon.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
That's the one.
no 2 is different. That's something else.
That is where we're going, right? Number 2.
2 is the Leaf Tower. That's where I think the bad guy is.
Where's the Tower of the Rising?
It's number 4.
Ah, yes.
Numero. All right, so as the party approaches the Tower of the High Moon, or Tower of the Rising Moon, inside High Moon, a lot of moons in the name, they notice 2 guards at the gate, but the gate shut behind them. As the party approaches, one of the guards says, "Hail, what brings you to the tower this day?"
You missed the part where he said, "Well met. It's nice to meet you too."
Asshole.
We're envoys from Arabelle, sent for a meeting with your leader. What's his name? Hafen.
I say his name.
You say his name, Thalon.
I'm writing it down this time.
Theon.
Thallan. Thalon.
Alon.
He's the grand magician of whatever this town is. That is the title that Eric.
And the guard says, "Yes, many people know who Thalon is, but who are you to request audience with the High Lord?
We're envoys from Arabelle. I already said that.
Do you have a name, envoys from Arabelle?"
Yes, we are the envoys from Arabelle.
From Arabelle. I thought that was a good name. You got some notes? I mean, we could always change our name.
If you have suggestions, we're open to them, Mr. Guard.
Without a name, you cannot enter the tower.
I'm Armin.
Certain involved.
Yolanda.
And hey,
Hey, Finn.
See, we have names. Can we see him now?
Maybe we should mention that we've
East of all
you know, we came a long way.
of Daggerford, yes?
very same.
Ah, we have heard your tales this far out into the Dalelands.
I'm looking over at the rest of the party like, what are we?
Like half those tales we were there for. I think.
And Armin Coast, I believe.
Yeah. Yes, that is me.
Yes. The High Lord Thalon has been waiting for you.
He knows we're coming.
So these two must also be Yolanda and Hafen.
They introduce themselves. Good job pretending to guess their names.
Yolanda's over in the background doing like karate chops and punches.
I'm still doing the handshakes.
Yeah, you've got like static coming out of your hands.
Jazz hands.
Magical jazz hands.
Yes, I do believe the High Lord will see you.
Excellent.
Follow us, he says, as the gates open and the elven guards begin to walk into the courtyard of the High Moon. Rising Moon. I'm going to keep doing that.
I'm gonna know which of our companions is walking next to me. Who wants to volunteer? I want to nudge you.
I'll walk next to you.
I nudge Yolanda. I'm like, they've heard of us. I think we've made it.
You're not used to that yet? I'm sorry. It's just a natural phenomenon where I go.
And then I smack her. For being obnoxious.
Wait till her godmother hears about that one.
As the party is led into through the courtyard into the first alcove of the tower, they are led into a back chamber that is where the walls are lined with stained glass that rise up 100 feet on either side.
Ooh.
Sitting in the back,
Those.
sitting on a throne, to which behind several columns are sitting, is a very regal-looking elf, who you don't even have to guess that it is the High Lord of High Moon.
Ooh.
Ooh. The guard approaches. The guard approaches the Lord and says, "Lord Thalan, it is Armin Coast and his group who have requested audience with you. I have seen them to you as commanded. I shall now take my leave." He makes a bow and exits the chamber. The High Lord looks down upon the party and says, "I see you have finally made it to my little city."
Finally is not like, I mean, that feels like we took a long time to get here. It was only a day.
Well, I have been waiting for you much longer than a day.
How is that possible?
The High Lord looks to Hafen and says, "You as an elf should understand that time does not work for the same as us as the humans."
He could be like some sort of divination wizard.
So what brings us here?
That's a good question.
That's exactly what.
Do you know what we're doing?
Who are you? I can't say anything because anytime Sir Easterval opens his mouth, he's like, "Yeah, okay, yes, you got it."
The High Lord sits back into his throne and says, "I know of what the dragons are doing to our continent, and I know that you have already killed one of them, which leads me to believe that you will kill more if need be."
Well, that's not need be. That's the plan.
This doesn't have to happen to jive with your plan, does it?
My plan is to keep my city safe.
Oh,
And keep it safe I have these last 200
please
years.
don't say with dragons. Do not say with dragons.
Dragons, no.
Oh, okay.
So how are you keeping your city safe? Necromancer. I didn't say that out loud. That's what I'm thinking.
Have you engaged in any unholy pacts recently?
Unholy? No.
I mean,
We elves do not run in that. Well, we're not drows, if that's what you're asking.
unholy is
no.
a matter of perspective, best of all.
No alliances with beings from the lower planes.
We have conjured an elemental here and there, but only in dire necessity.
God, every time anyone does that, we get fucked.
Not another one of those guys.
And usually it's by our own people.
Usually, we employ the help of parties of adventurers that come through our city. You are not the only party of adventurers in this city. We have many. We have
Who
them
was
do.
last night?
I'm sorry?
Who was in your city last night?
In our city last night. What do you mean by that?
Who was working security near the front gate last night?
Backgate.
Back gate.
We have a garrison of guards that take care of that.
Do they shamble?
They all have back problems.
I should hope they don't shamble.
Any outbreaks of leprosy in the city? Any plague currently?
Plague? Well, about 50 years back we had a really bad plague, but we took care of it now.
Not super relevant to us right now that don't live 300 million years.
All right.
I'm only 1,000, he says.
Can I make a quick aside with the party here?
Yeah.
While we're standing in front of him. So,
Party huddle.
quick party huddle. What the hell's going on here? Does this guy not know what we saw last night? Or I can't tell if we're being played or if we're the only ones who know.
Think this guy's some kind of freak.
No, I think it's I think he's a necromancer or a divination wizard, or he's employing a necromancer, and we don't know about it. But Ditex is in the city, and we have got to something him.
Well, we either got to get this guy to show his hand or figure out he doesn't know what's going on and enlist his help. That's what I'm.
I've got a question for him then.
Okay.
Are you keeping any prisoners in the city?
We do have a dungeon down below. Usually it's just drunkards, thieves, the simple kinds of stuff. We don't have a lot of really bad crime in our city.
So, like, no necromancers.
No, we generally try to keep necromancers out of the city.
So Sir Eastervald is gonna step forward and say, "You've heard of me, correct?"
Ah, yes, Sir Easterval of Daggerford. I am sorry at what happened to your home.
I appreciate the sentiment. So, let me cut to the chase. When we approached your city the other night, or last night, we saw something that gave us cause for concern. We are trying to get to the bottom of this, and as I'm talking to him, I'd like to use my wherever it is.
Oh, you got some magic.
My Emissary of Peace channel divinity.
Okay.
So +5 to charisma checks.
Sure.
So I'm going to try and I'm going to explain what we saw, the undead shambling outside of the gates, and ask him what he knows, and I'm going to try and do like an investigation check, I guess.
Okay.
Or persuasion. I'm going to try and persuade him to explain what we could have seen, or if there's anything he knows that could be of use.
Okay.
Persuasion?
Yeah, roll. Yeah, persuasion. All right, do your persuading.
So, the undead were at night shambling outside of your city. For the good of your town, please tell us anything that you might know. Anything unusual happened? Just anything out of the ordinary just these past few nights.
The High Lord looks very concerned by what you have said, and he says to you, Sir Easterval, undead outside of the city. That doesn't make any sense.
It wasn't even just regular undead. It wasn't just zombies. It looked like some Bodaks, maybe some whites. It was hard to tell. We didn't approach the town because of the undead until the next morning.
He starts stroking his chin as he says, "This doesn't make any sense. We had..." And he's just kind of going back and forth in his own head. The party that we usually employ to keep things like this under wraps says that they've been doing what they've been doing, but undead outside of the city, we're going to have to put an investigation into this.
They weren't even just outside of the city. They were on the battlements.
Who are these people you have been say that have been giving you these positive reports?
We had a party of wizards that we have had in the city for the last month. That have been giving us magical wards, doing studies for us up in the Leaves of Learning, among other things throughout the city, just helping out wherever they can.
Do any of them have names?
He didn't have a signet with you or anything, did he?
So I heard you and Sean at the same time.
Good.
Do any of them have names?
The leader's name, he called himself Vulcan.
That sounds familiar.
The other names, they were everybody but everybody but Vulcan was an elf. Vulcan was a human male, and then the three others were elves with what were their names? And he snaps forward to a guard, and the guard comes forward and whispers in his ear and says, Flinar, Fanlil, and Jandar were the other two. Were the other three.
So if something was occurring in the city, it's safe to say that they would probably know about it then, given that they've been casting wards and dealing with general problems in the city.
They're generally the ones we would entrust that kind of thing to.
Excellent. Where are they? We'd love to have a chat with them to see what we can do to help.
Unfortunately, at this time of day, they could be anywhere in the city. They they have a kind of apartment that we give them that I guess they go home to at night, but we just receive their weekly status reports more or less, and we pay them to be within the city.
Do we still have the locate person spell?
Let me see. I might have got rid of it.
Yeah, I thought I heard you say that.
He dropped remove curse. I remember that.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I took some more interesting spells because that one was kind of a bust last time.
Could be super useful here. Oh well.
I was gonna say maybe for like role playing purposes he could just like kind of have it.
Nope.
I don't consider
Nope.
these people people. I consider them objects. Can I use locate object on them?
So you're objectifying these wizards.
Yes. Wizards
No.
You
aren't
see
people.
most people that way.
How would Davril think if he heard that?
He's not people either. He's like an angel or a demigod or something.
He's a construct.
So he is an object, literally.
Literally. All right, so you have names with possible intent. What does the party do with this information now?
Well, let's work the streets, find these guys.
Woo!
Oh yeah.
I think if we head to what's number 2 called? The Leaves of the Leaf. I'm trying to.
The Leaves of Learning.
I think that is probably the best location we can go to find things.
Sure.
Or at least
It's a start.
where they are.
So you're just gonna walk out without saying goodbye?
No, but actually, I'm saying out loud to the party in front of them. I think the Leaves of Learning would be a good place to start looking for these guys. That's obviously a place of magic. Would you agree, Thalin?
Thalen. High Lord Thalen says, the Leaves of Learning, one of the greatest libraries in all of Faerun. Yes.
How do you get in? Because did we figure that out? Didn't we get stuck
didn't
out?
Try.
You didn't try.
Is there like a door with a giant push sign on it that we missed?
There is a door to the Leaves of Learning. Yes, it's out there in the square. Though, not even a writ from me will let you in. They are very selective on who they let in.
Well, who do they let in?
You'll just have to go talk to them.
All right, let's go talk to him.
This makes me feel like we're barking up the wrong tree now, but let's go talk to him.
It's literally a giant tree in the city, isn't it? Barking up the wrong tree. I love that.
So as the party works their way out of the Tower of the Rising Moon, back to the center of the city, they reapproach the giant wooden spire that stabs into the sky. As they approach the Leaves of Learning, the party sees that the spire is surrounded by a large stone outer wall that is inscribed with a manner of runes just every which way, and the big duskwood door that would let them to the inside wall into the inner courtyard. At the duskwood door, there stands 2 elves in what you can only describe as very religious-looking tabards with colors that you have not seen before.
Like unnatural colors,
Unnatural colors.
not in the normal spectrum of colors.
Yes.
Well, hail and
I
well
got it.
met, friends. We seek entrance into your library.
The two elves continue to look forward, and they don't even notice or pay attention to you having approached them.
Okay, well, I'll just walk up to the door then and try to enter.
Shoulders and walk in.
Just kick the door in.
As you approach the door and attempt to open the door, both of the guards let out a yell and immediately unsheath their swords and say, "Step away from the gate."
Well, thank you for paying attention.
They're-
I step back and say,
They-
hail and well met.
They resheath their swords. And they say, "What business do you have in the Leaves of Learning?
We already stated our business, and then you ignored me.
What business do you have in the Leaves of Learning?"
He's an NPC.
We're-
He only says the one thing.
Listen, asshole.
We're here to learn.
We
What
need
do
more
you
of this.
wish? What do you wish to learn?
About this city.
We seek the Grail.
If you seek to learn about the city, go talk to an innkeeper. This place is not for you.
We seek to learn the magic behind the city.
Yeah, the knowledge we're seeking can't be attained by asking a commoner.
A filthy commoner like
What-
you.
To access the knowledge within the spire, what do you bring to add to it?
I got a pretty nifty spell that I bet you don't know.
Sir Easterwald's gonna chuckle and say, "What is this, candle keep?"
No, it's one I really don't want to cast, but it's pretty powerful. It's called Onbeer Soul Shatter.
Let's not shatter any souls.
So you show the spell to the guard.
Yeah, how do
Yeah.
you show it to him?
Well, you had it. You guys found it written down, so
Oh, okay.
it wasn't something that you just learned.
Yeah.
So you hand a scroll to the elf guard with the spell on it. The elf guard reads it over and says, "Where did you find such powerful magic?"
Off the guy who tried to cast it.
He says, "This is sufficient. You may pass."
All right.
They
Can I
open
get
the
one of-
door. They open the door to let Hafen in.
Only
Pete.
Haven? Do the thing! Find the stuff for us! As the door shuts in my face. Did he take the scroll from Hafen?
He did.
I'm not trading what I have.
What knowledge do you bring to add to the great library?
None if I don't get to keep it. My knowledge is my own.
If you have nothing to add, then you may not enter.
Yeah, I don't think you get the point of a library.
Yeah, you're supposed to be able to check books out.
Sir Easterwald is going to whip out his pack and ruffle around inside and pull out a quill and some parchment, and he is going to draw a picture of the blue dragon that we killed, hastily scribbled onto the page.
Can we get an art check?
Yes. Give me an art check.
I've got this wonderful picture that I of
Yeah.
this dragon.
It's like
Research.
it's like a dragon,
Art-
and you're in front of it as a stick figure with your weapon up.
Exactly. I'm pulling a
should have-
Sokka.
Where you keep your meat preserved.
So would this
Dragon
be
looks suspiciously like Trogdor.
I was gonna say that. Yes.
would this be a dexterity check?
Trogdor. What's that?
Is this a dexterity check?
Sure.
How artistic am I? Very.
Oh God.
So it is a stick figure.
So the elf guard says, "Do you have a name for this dragon?"
Think of
Carl
something clever
Anthax.
because you don't know his name.
Carlanthax.
You guys knew the dragon's name.
It was the blue dragon we killed, Carlanthax.
Yeah.
Is it Carlanthax?
No,
He doesn't know any better.
he doesn't. The he takes the scribble of paper of the Trogdor, Carlanthax, and he just kind of slightly shakes his head and he says, "I guess this'll do." He rolls the scroll up and stuffs it into his sleeve and opens the door and lets Sristaval in.
Armin
Here.
raises his hands up. What the fuck?
I will also add to that, just so it's not just nonsense, a single blue dragon scale. There you go. Proof that I saw, that's my provenance for the artistic rendering that I just performed here today. Blue dragon scale.
An ancient lightning dragon scale.
Yep.
Excellent.
Steps inside, says boom.
Oh, I got something then. If we're passing out nonsense, I have something that's slightly above nonsense.
Wait for our king.
I pull out one of my vials of instant death potion that I picked up from the assassins,
Ooh.
and I say this potion will instantly kill whoever consumes it, and it was taken from the hands of a secret assassins guild.
The guard takes the vial and holds it up to the sunlight
Be very careful.
and turns it in his hand, and he says, "Ah, this is in fact a vial of, as you put it, instant death potion from the Assassin's Guild of the Dregar. They do not lightly give this poison out.
They do not.
We will take it." And he puts it into his sleeve, and he opens the door to let Armin in.
I'm
Boy, I
concerned
sure
about
hope
giving-
Out of the name of that cult he just gave you.
When I say you'll learn to think of something clever, like a T-shirt with your face on it.
What do you have to give to the library?
You should hand him a T-shirt with your face on it. Please do that.
I have a ring of shooting star, and I don't know what it does, so I'm more than willing to give that to them.
This is why you went last, so you could give away our magic items, and we wouldn't know.
You don't want to show him some sort of sweet monk move.
They can do that, but they can't keep it.
They can keep their knowledge of it.
Ooh, I'll show them my proprietary backflip. There's a special technique to it. That is my offer.
Ooh.
The elf takes the ring and he slips it on, and he holds his hand up and casts dancing lights all around, and he says, "A ring of shooting stars. Yes, it is very rare around these parts." Takes
I
the ring
did that
off.
spell anyway. Cool.
The ring,
We could have had a rave this whole time, and
throws it
I
into
can-
his sleeve, and says, "You may enter."
So what does the ring do?
It's basically whenever a wrestler enters like WWE or whatever, sparks go flying at the entrance. And she
Oh.
gave that
I
up.
can do. I have dancing lights as a spell anyway, so I've already been doing.
Wow. Is it like a cantrip?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as you're not with a spell slot, I guess.
dancing lights and minor illusions and color spray. It's a fucking blast when I come in. Okay, what am I looking for again, you guys?
All right,
We're all-
you're all inside now.
Oh, Jesus Christ, we gave away so much shit to get in here.
I'm heading for the gift shop because I want one of those coats.
Those coats with
Yeah.
endless pockets.
No, those really the ones with the colors that can't be defined on them.
Oh, you want a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You got into the secret library of this town and you're like, I want to buy a t-shirt.
Yeah, come on.
All right, let's go to the gift shop first.
Souvenirs.
Is there a gift shop?
There is no gift shop, unfortunately.
What library is this?
It's a library. They don't have gift shops at the library.
It's a T-shirt that. Well, sorry.
Hang on, I had the map, and I thought I already had a thing for it. Let me add it real quick. It's a little blurry, but this will have to do. All right, you are now inside the courtyard of the Leaves of Learning. Don't worry about the numbers.
And the courtyard is what?
You know,
number?
it's basically where all the trees. You see several different paths that lead all around the courtyard. You see several elves, a lot of humans just kind of milling about. It seems very tranquil, with the sun flying high over the spire, which is, you know, this right here. So, and then you've got your different floors that you can see there. Off to the northeast, you see a building that is very obviously where the library is.
Let's go to the library. That's why we're here.
Go to the library. All right. As the party enters the library, they are met at the front reception by elven woman, and she says, "Welcome to the Leaves of Learning. What learning are you here for today?"
I'd like to learn about meditation and
Meditation and what?
inner peace.
And inner peace. Ah, that is a good choice.
Basically, your self-help section.
She waves her hand in the air, and a stack of books appear in front of her. All self-help books on peace and meditation.
I go. And
Please use these to your heart's content.
I want something a little more rare than this nonsense that she's asking for.
And what can I help you with, sir?
I'm looking for a book on dragon fusion.
Excuse me.
Dragon Fusion.
Yes.
She does a little digging through a index in front of her. Dragon Fusion, Dragon Fusion. We have books about dragons and books about fusion, but nothing about dragon fusion.
Okay, how about the fusion books? Those are transmutation magic, correct?
Yeah, all fusion is transmutation. Are you a transmutation wizard? Are you trying to learn a new spell?
Absolutely not. Can't even learn spells.
Then what would you need with a
Take a word.
transmutation spell?
I have some magic that I'm hoping to learn more about because I can't cast it very often, or I don't want to screw it up.
Well, she waves her hands, and in front of you, a small pile of books appear about transmutation fusion. I hope this is to your liking. It's like 2 or 3 books.
Okay, I would like to peruse those books and find one that specifically focuses on like the technique of casting it.
Like, are you looking for the technique of how the rune that you that have is to cast it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm looking for something that will help with its. I want to get the most out of it when I cast it, and I'm looking for anything that's going to help me do that. And I'm focusing on technique of spell casting, and like what I need to be channeling my divine magic through to get it to work properly.
Okay. And she looks. The receptionist looks to east of Aldenhaven. And what can I help you gentlemen find?
I would like to learn about the clothing design, advanced clothing design for spies, winged people, as told to, recorded from some of the more famous spies in the business, please.
So, you're looking for information on
I want to
different
design
orders.
something that I need to wear.
Okay. She waves her
You
hands.
really want that T-shirt, don't you?
Can I get a book on colors and no, I'm just kidding.
A book on color theory. There you go.
Oh wow.
She gives you all of the necessary books that you need.
Actually, can I get a redo? Actually, Jeff, you can go first. I don't want to do a redo while you still haven't done one.
Oh, so I was gonna ask. Sorry, the cat's having a fur ball over behind me. It's like coughing and howling. Anyway, what was I gonna ask? Oh, I was gonna try and find out more details about the wizards that have been here in the city.
You want the yearbook from the wizard schools.
And
Yeah.
so you are inquiring about. This is the elf receptionist. You are inquiring about one of our parties, one of our wizard parties that helps out with various things around the city. Yes.
Recent activity, correct.
Oh well, you're in luck. And in one of the rooms behind me here, one of them is doing some studying right now.
Perfect. May I?
We don't have to ask to barge in on him.
Oh yeah, just like thank you and just walk off.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I grab you real quick before you walk off. And you're like, hold on one second. I want to turn in my transmutation books. I already learned everything I need to learn from them. And I'm looking for a book about creating an avatar of yourself that can walk around in the world outside of you.
An avatar,
Like a clone of yourself.
like astral projection.
It's more physical than that.
Like what is that called? A simulacrum? Lacrum?
Is that what it is? I don't know what that word means. Basically, it's like some sort of strange magic where you create a clone of yourself, but you can control it.
She does some flipping through her index cards.
Simulacrum.
Is that a thing in D&D?
It is a thing.
How do you spell that?
It's SIMULACRUM. You shape an illusionary duplicate of one beast or humanoid that is within range. Duplicate
Yeah,
is
this
a
isn't
creature
an
partially
illusion,
real.
though.
No, it's partially real, formed from ice or snow.
Well, can it be formed from guts and body parts? Because that's what we killed.
I'm sure that the oh yeah, it actually says right there, components: some snow or ice, in quantity sufficient to make a life-size copy, some hair, fingernail clippings, or other piece of that creature's body placed inside the snow. So yeah, guts.
So when it dies, does it turn to snow, or does it turn to like
Yes,
pieces
it
of
turns
someone?
to snow. It turns to snow and melts instantly.
So we weren't We didn't kill a snow Ditex. We killed like a legitimate clone of him.
It's interesting, isn't it?
So what do you want to do with it?
I need to know more about this magic if we're going to actually kill Ditex.
I mean, the thing that we encountered could very well be one of these.
Actually, I think it's the spell clone.
It could be, yeah, it could be
Just
clone.
straight up clone.
Just a straight up clone.
I googled clone 5e and that's what popped up. Apparently it's a necromancy spell.
That is a spell, an 8th level necromancy spell.
That is a, ouch.
This clone forms inside a sealed vessel and grows to a full size of maturity after 120 days.
And this very well could be what happened because the clone only activates once matured if the original creature dies.
Right, but I had a scrying adventure where I saw two Ditexes.
So then one of them you saw had to have been real.
Or it could have been simulacrum. Because that
So
basically is,
Simulate.
it's a duplicate.
So as you guys are kind of talking to each other about this, the elf receptionist brings back transmutation spells based on the description that you gave, which is simulacrum, however you say it, spell, as well as some necromancy spells like clone. She says, "This is all we have on this."
This could be some like custom magic he made that is not known yet. Or it could be like a combination of simulacrum or a clone. But yeah, I'll take the books, the necromancy and the transmutation books, and throw them in the bag of holding. Hopefully to be seen again. All rightest of all, let's go visit our friend in the other room.
Let's go rough him up. Bring Yolanda.
Let's go rough that.
Our rougher-upper is still reading her self-help books.
Well,
I can take a break. It's okay.
yeah, come help.
You were off the camera, so I assumed you were gone.
Oh.
Oh no, I just leaned back.
I was like, she's really into these books.
Come help us rough this asshole up.
As east of all, what do you do? So you go back to the room with the wizard man in it?
Yes.
That didn't sound like east of all to me. You're muted, Jeff.
Now I'm not muted.
No, you're
Just
not.
kidding. Sorry, there's a lot of background noise. Cat coughing up a fur ball. Baby
I don't
running
hear
around.
anything.
I'm paranoid about it.
Hmm.
So we're gonna walk into the back room.
Okay.
What
You
is the
walk
wizard doing?
You walk into the room and you see, bookshelves that are basically lining the wall from floor to ceiling, books of every shape, size, and color. You see several tables throughout the room with various people sitting, flipping through books, taking notes, and you see on the far side a...
Gary Larson.
I was just thinking that. Thank you.
What, Gary Larson?
I thought it. You said it. Yes.
And you see I don't want to say suspicious looking character, but he stands out from everybody else. Like, this looks like the guy that the elf receptionist was talking about. He kind of stands out from the normal people that are just kind of in the room doing their thing.
Is he human?
He's sitting. He is an elf.
Damn it.
Does he look like a degenerate?
He looks very mean.
Just,
Like he's
okay.
very, yeah.
This
He's
is
very focused on his
exactly who
book.
we want to talk to then.
So, and he's reading a book. You said.
You see him flipping through a book and scribbling down notes. He doesn't notice that you have entered the room.
Can we have maybe our wizard try to like get over behind him so we can see what he's reading? Little reconnaissance.
We don't have a wizard.
Can we get our Yolanda over there to
Yeah, she's the closest thing we have to a wizard right now.
basically a wizard?
I am
Well,
a sorcerer.
There's 2 sorcerers in the party technically.
Can we
Like,
get our
Hafen is-
sorcerer?
Am I there? You dropped-
We all walked into this room together.
Okay. Because I really do want to learn about these clothes. I say as I'm pointing at my books and shuffling into this room.
I hold out the bag of holding. Put him in. We'll get to him later.
All right. Now, what are we doing?
Intel gathering.
Yeah, that's a
/
suspicious
interrogation.
looking guy over there. That shifty figure over in the corner reading that book.
He might be just looking at the pages. We don't know if he can read.
Yeah.
Just looking at the pictures.
Okay. Let's see. Let me see, y'all.
He's the laughing stock of the entire tower because he's the only one that just reads the ones with the pretty pictures.
He's got the children's wizards books out.
Yes.
I don't really have a way other than Dimension Door to get
I mean,
behind him. I'm
You can
sure that
always
would
just kind of
be-
walk up to him and see what happens.
be up to him. Can I have one of my books back, please, Armin?
Sure. Here's your book.
All right. I'm going to sit down with my book directly across from him and pretend like I'm reading my book. And then
As you sit down, he glances up with a scowl at you, but the scowl just kind of seems to be his resting bitch face, and before he just looks back down and continues taking notes.
Cool. So I'm going to give it a second. And then go. These books aren't ever as helpful as you want them to be.
He looks back up at you and says, "You'd think with this being the best library in all of Faerun that they would have everything. Well, I can tell you that they don't."
Tell me about it. I've been working on this thing all freaking day. I've been all over the place trying to find my information. No luck. I take it you're having the same sort of experience?
When he says, "Whenever my boss sends me in to do some research for this, I can never find whatever it is he's looking for."
Jeez. Well, I've been all up and down this place today. Maybe I've run across it. What you in here looking for anyway?
He waves his hand and says, "It's none of your concern what he's looking for."
No. One of those bosses, huh?
Yeah.
Does he pay you all right?
Oh, the city pays me well. I live like a king out here.
And what do you do if you don't mind me asking?
They have me go around and help the shops around town, setting magical wards. You know, that sort of thing.
You get paid to do that?
The elves out here are ridiculous.
And that's all you do. That's all you have to do is just go around and set wards.
More or less.
And then come here and read a few books for your boss. That's a pretty good job. Can I get in on this?
He's not looking, thank you.
He's not. Well, that stinks because I'm looking for work.
He eyes you up and down and he says, "What would a sorcerer like you be needing with wizard work anyways?"
Well, I've done a lot of things here and there. Killing things.
Killing things.
Yeah. Yep. Killed me something about this big one time. Wish I had a photo to show you, but I swear,
I'm
swear
very
it
much,
took me all day.
I'm very much enjoying this exchange.
We're
Well,
all,
look.
like, stacked up behind a bookshelf listening.
just kind of, you're thumbing through books, but you're really turned with your ear, just kind of like. He puts his pen down, puts a bookmark in and shuts the book, and he goes, "My name's Jandar. What do they call you?"
Jandar, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Hafen.
We should have gave him the code name.
I know.
He immediately you see for a second he kind of hesitate a little bit, and he goes, Hafen, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. So, like I was saying, I'm completely new to this town. You think you could, I don't know, maybe help me get some work?
If you need someone to help you get work, you can always go to one of the garrisons. They're always looking for people to do odd jobs around the town. As for me, I need to get going now.
Oh, really? Why is that? Hang on. I was having such a good time talking to you. Hold on just a second.
I cast hold person.
Do you really?
He's not
Yes.
going. He's not going anywhere. I cast hold person.
He's not leaving.
So, right when he gets up, I walk up behind him, lay my hands on him, and I cast the spell. And then I say, "Stay a while."
And
He looks up at you as you place his hand on his shoulder, and he goes quiet.
5th level spell slot, guys. I hope this is worth it.
he's now paralyzed forever.
He might succeed his saving throw.
He says, "You can't do anything in here. We're in one of the most protected places in all of the city, and it's in a room full of people. What are you going to do?"
We're gonna finish our conversation.
Some strong arm tactics right here.
Now, you were saying you had a boss, and you're here doing some research for the boss. Did he leave the book on the table?
Yeah, the book is still on the table.
Oh,
I would like to look at the book.
The book is a very unassuming cover. It looks like a very old and damaged book. It's hard to tell just by looking at it what's inside. As you flip it open to look, though, it is a book on necromancy.
Dun dun dun.
Duh.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Looky here. Researching some necromancy, are we?
Well, yes.
So,
I mean, that's.
is this some
I
kind
had an interest in it. What's it to you?
an interest in it? You, protector of a city, has an interest in bringing the dead back to life.
No, I never said anything about bringing the dead back to life.
Okay, well, why were you reading this book?
I'm not going to tell you.
Anybody want to help?
Esteval, you got your hammer brander?
You're in a room full of people.
Maybe we could, like, light it up just a little bit.
You're in a room full of people and a room full of books.
Yeah,
All
they
right,
got
hang on. Hang on. Before we get stupid, let me see if I have anything subtle.
Can wizards grow back their fingernails? Is that a thing they can do?
I'm pretty sure if they're human, they can.
Oh, Scott, did I actually get to cast my spell, or was that, like, did that not happen?
No, you cast Hold Person.
Okay, and I would know if he failed his saving throw.
Yeah.
So did he?
No.
He did not fail his saving
Or
throw?
he failed. I'm sorry. He did. He failed his saving throw. I'm
Okay, so
twisting
he is
myself in the head.
paralyzed.
He's paralyzed.
Possibly for life.
Not
Yeah, I
yet.
don't really have anything subtle that would. I don't have any kind of truth serum spells or anything like that.
Well, actually, I don't. No, what's funny is I changed it right before we got into the city because I had Zone of Truth was one of my spells,
Ooh.
I usually
and
like
I
that
took
one.
it off. Yeah, me too. I was
You know, I
anticipating a fight.
And I actually have a little thing in my notes about whole Zone of Truth because I figured one of you had it.
I did, and I had it memorized for entering the city, and I unmemorized it because I thought it was going to be more combat oriented. Oh well.
Oh well.
Well, we have one way of making people talk. We can
Torture.
I have 4 more instant death potions,
Ooh, yeah.
and we can always kill them and bring them back, and kill them and bring them back.
Perfect.
I don't know if we can do that subtly in a library full of people.
I'm going to tell them before you do that. I'm not worried about subtlety because I think you're secretly plotting to hurt this city, and if we uncover that, these people aren't going to care if we're harassing you.
For the greater good.
For the greater good.
For the greater good.
What are they going to care about a crusty juggler getting tortured in the library?
Yeah. Now go ahead, Armin, kill him.
Me?
Yeah.
You.
You're the necromancer. You kill him.
Not the necromancer.
That is what we're talking about doing, right? We're talking about using necromancy to bring his corpse back,
I was gonna use lesser restoration or something.
which is probably necromancy.
Essentially necromancy.
Well, let me see. It's abjuration, actually.
Ah. So, well, now we're in a pickle. We've got this wizard that's held.
Let's have a talk about your boss. I know you don't want to talk about him, so I'll talk about him. I got a lot to say. So, we're looking for a guy, and I think your guy is our guy. What hold on. Let me remind myself what this guy's name is. Vulcan? That name sounds familiar.
Vulcan, my boss. Yes.
Does he have any other names?
I know him as Vulcan.
You are completely useless and not proving that we need to keep you alive for any reason.
Survey says.
Survey says, get out the pliers.
Eh.
We're in a room. All I have to do is yell.
I'm surprised you haven't already.
Yeah, why is that?
As soon as you say that, he immediately lets out a bellow at the top of his lungs, bringing the attention of everybody in the room to you.
What does he bellow?
He lets out a loud noise. They're trying to hurt me!
And I say,
That was my favorite part too. And I reach into my back pocket and pull out. Do I have any kind of cloth on me?
Jesus Christ.
I don't know, do you?
Yeah, you probably have you have your robe or something, right?
Let's see.
You have your robe. You could just rip something off.
Yeah, I'll just rip something off my robe and shove it down his mouth so it'll shut up.
What are you going to do about all the attention in the room on you now?
And then he does this, and I smack it in, and then he did that dance for like 5 minutes. That part was great. Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone.
Sorry, we're very excited about this play.
Roll me a deception on that.
Let's see, deception.
We're going to convince him that we're practicing for a play.
I feel like that's definitely been done somewhere.
It's really the only option at this point.
After all the attention in the room snaps to you, there's a little low murmur before everybody slowly turns back to whatever it is they were doing, and it dies down to being quiet again.
All right. I look at him super pissed off, and whoever wants to keep questioning him can keep questioning him.
Let's tie his hands and put him in the bag of holding.
Is the bag of holding big enough to shove an adult elf male into it?
You start from the top.
Let's find out. Bag of holding.
Just in the middle of the room, just
Okay.
casually trying to stuff a human into the bag of holding.
Whatever. And then we'll do a little exit song and walk out like we're the greatest magical act in the library's history.
Everybody, all at once, we all shout, "Ta-da!"
Okay, it says raw fitting should be possible unless he's like heavily armed or like heavily armored. Then it'd probably be a little tough to get him in there.
No, he's not. He's wearing like a cloth.
Okay, well I was gonna
Robe
take the
and
top
stuff.
of the bag and just like, whoop, all the way down.
Grab him by one foot and just.
And then we need to get out of the library.
I need you to roll me a sleight of hand on that.
The sleight of hand.
At the same time that he's doing that, I would like to prestidigitate some like magical effect, like blushing effects.
Far
That's
away
a
from
cantrip.
us, right?
Like
Yeah.
on the other side of the room
Like
to distract everyone.
harmless little lights that dance that I'm prestidigitating.
Okay.
Maybe like
I'd like to angle for advantage on this sleight of hand check because he is paralyzed.
He is absolutely paralyzed. But it is not him that you're trying to sleight of hand. You're trying to sleight of hand in lieu of everybody in the room seeing you.
Okay, so advantage because he's distracting everyone with prestidigitation?
All right, I'll take it. Ooh, you got lucky.
Become a -1. I gotta angle for whatever I can get on those dex rolls.
So the prestidigitation. What do you do to for your prestidigitation while he slips the bag over?
I will do a. Let's see, some sparks with a little musical like kind of. And then the odor is going to be a pleasantly baked, like, bread finish. Just so everyone's kind of happy. Whatever sends them to a happy place after it's done.
Okay. So as that pops off, and Armin slides the bag over over Jandar. One of the humans in the room gets up and says, "By Azut's divine favor, can you guys go do that somewhere else?"
Absolutely, sir. We apologize.
We walk right out the door and out of the library. I think he's only got like 10 minutes air in there, so we need to book it. He will die.
no rush.
All right, so you have successfully extracted one of the wizarding party from the Leaves of Learning. It's 10:10. So we can keep going, or we can stop here for now for the night.
I have to work, unfortunately.
I actually have to get up like 3 hours early and go to a Wellstar location at like 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
A well
Well, I did not expect any of this tonight, so that was
Good.
fun.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it's always fun kidnapping somebody right in broad daylight.
Oh, Jesus
Slide
Christ.
into a
We
bag.
did not do lawful good things today.
Oh, we did.
We black bagged him.
Well, it's in the long term. You're not supposed to analyze each individual situation. It's
We
the
should,
overall.
though. We should, though, because they're going to add up to one. Oh my God, what did we do?
And like Border Patrol in Portland.
Oh
Like
God.
what?
Oh boy.
Like what?
Border Patrol in Portland.
Yeah.
You know the secret police?
No.
Yeah.
They've been.
No, Jeff,
Never.
just Google secret police in Portland. It's like the big hot thing on the news right now.
All my
Oh.
Friday night was spent with Laura Lee worried about her brother who lives there.
I have friends that live in Portland, and I'm like, "Ooh, guys, don't go out."
Thankfully, I assured her that he was probably up on Mount Hood. Anyway, so I think he was, but still scary.
Oh,
Secret police, feds, or unmarked vans.
Yeah.
A peaceful protester was shot in the head.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And then when asked to stop, the guy in charge basically was like, "No, we're going to do this in other places too." Yay.
I wonder if all the people that supported Trump are now maybe possibly rethinking that stance.
No, they're not.
Some of them are. I think there's a larger and larger number, and it grows more every day. I hope. There'll always
There's
be
more. I think there's more luck in people who were ambivalent last time having an opinion.
Yeah.
So,
But I also feel like that opinion could go both ways.
if you were walking on the street and you were suddenly accosted by a van full of unmarked police officers or
Ice for holding a
secret police or whatever the hell they are, would you not be within your constitutional rights to attack them?
Yes.
Are we
But,
still
you know,
streaming?
Yes.
Oh,
let's
sorry.
stop streaming.
Stopping streaming. Bye bye,